Hello and welcome to Tell It Like It Is, the show where my guests get to share their lives and opinions however they see fit. Today I'm joined by Spomenka Stanic-Miller, who recently just became a professional bodybuilder. Thank you for being on the show and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so could you just kind of talk about how you got into bodybuilding and how long you've been doing it for?
I've been doing it for just a little bit over 3 years. I always was interested in fitness. I did a couple different things like marathons, some road cycling, mini triathlons, and I was always interested in bodybuilding. But about 3 years ago, I decided I really want to give a shot and see how far I can go and how well I would do. In the past, I wanted to do it, but I always worried what people will say.
Yeah.
So I decided when I got certain age that it doesn't matter what people want to say. I just wanted to see how well I would do, and I wanted to do it for myself.
So what do you mean by like what people would say, like how they would view it, or?
Yeah, I just felt like at that time, I felt like people maybe wouldn't accept me or I didn't think it was, I don't know, for some reason I felt like people would judge me, but like I said, I decided I just wanted to do it for me.
That's awesome. So how has the response been?
Actually amazing. I'm surprised. I'm a hairdresser and I work with people every day. In the beginning, people kind of like, do you really want to do that, or how come you do that? But once they realize I had such a passion for it, people are amazing. The support I get and everybody that cheers me on, or my clients are just so happy for me and see me grow over the last 3 years. It's just been incredible.
So what was that first competition like when you first, stepped out on stage? And
I honestly didn't know how I was gonna feel, so I just went out there, and then the first time I did it, of course it helped. I placed in my first competition. I got 5th place. And I actually was surprised myself. I was very comfortable on the stage from day one. Of course, I was nervous my first competition, but placing in top 5 and getting my first trophy, it was pretty incredible. And then I was like, wow, I can do this.
So how long did you work before you actually decided it's time for a competition?
So I decided after the New Year's Day 3 years ago. After the New Year's Eve, I met up with my first coach, and I said, hey, I'm interested in doing bodybuilding. What do you think? What's my chances like? She's like, oh yeah, anybody can do it. We have how about we can do first one in 12 weeks. So I had 12 weeks to prep for it, which is kind of unheard of.
It's not a lot of time, right?
No. So in 12 weeks, I lost 26 pounds and 50% body fat.
Wow.
And I got on the stage and earned my first trophy.
That's amazing.
So how can you not want to know how far you can go from there? Right. I just want more and see what else I can accomplish. That was just the beginning.
And there's another surprise here. So how old are you?
Actually, today is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm 51.
Wow, that's amazing. And so I think part of your message, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's that it's never too late to really get into what you love.
Absolutely. I feel like in my advantages, I do have a passion for bodybuilding and fitness and working out. I just truly enjoy it and love it. But yes, my message I have two boys, and I tell them, if you learn anything from this, is that it's never too late to start something that you really want to pursue in your life. If you want to bad enough and you want to work for it, you can get it. And I truly believe that.
So you just became a professional bodybuilder. Can you kind of talk about what that process is like and how you became a professional?
In 3 years I did, which the average person doesn't do this, but I did a lot of competitions. I did 10 regional shows, amateur shows, and each time I got better and better. I started placing more. I think I have about 24 trophies that I accomplished over the last 3 years. And I did 3 nationals, and my 3rd national I earned my pro card. And in order to earn pro card, you have to place first in nationals. So last year I placed fifth, and this year I decided I'm gonna make a big leap and work hard enough. I did have to take a year off and build, and then I got on my first place this year. It's pretty amazing.
And when you say building, that's just like getting muscle and...
Yeah, so I took a year off doing too many shows back to back. Sometimes you can grow and get stronger. So you need to put a little bit more density of muscle. Excuse me. And that it takes time. So I took a year off, and I stick to the plan. I pretty much stick to the plan. I have to be on certain a meal plan, eat certain way. Food is 70%, I believe, but obviously you have to put work at the gym
of health, you mean?
Yeah. Well, to build muscle.
Right.
You know, you have to have a right diet. So I just commit and I stick to the plan. I eat right to support the building my muscle, and just put time at the gym. I'm at the gym anywhere from around 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 3 hours if I want to take my time, if I have enough time. Otherwise, around 2 hours 6 days a week. Sometimes even 7 day. I'm not good at taking rest. I'll go in and do, at least a little cardio or something. But so taking year off and just working hard and staying consistent, you advance and make progress.
So it seems like, obviously, of course, you're very knowledgeable about this now. Have you always been this knowledgeable about fitness, or did this kind of come with the bodybuilding process?
I over the years, when I first started working out, I took a lot of classes, and that's kind of where I learned basics. And then one day, mostly I stick to the classes, and one day I decided I'm gonna get on the floor and do some weights. And I remember actually first day I started lifting weights outside like classes. I stopped this one person at the gym and say, "Hey, what does this mean?" I had this little like workout plan. It's like, "What does this mean?" It was some kind of bench press or something. And they were like, "Wow, like that's pretty tense workout for somebody that's just beginning." I had no clue how to use machines. And I said, "You know what? I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm just gonna go out there with, if it's mostly guys, 100%, mostly guys lifting, weights." It's like, I'm not going to be timid by them. I'm just going to go and do it and figure out on my own. And so a lot of it self-taught, but with time, I read a lot about it. I watch some videos. So over the years, I just kind of learned, and I'm just interested in that. So I self-educated.
So I think you kind of brought up a good point with the whole, when people think of a bodybuilder, they think of Arnold Schwarzenegger or huge dudes like that. What is it like kind of being a female in this field?
I don't see the difference. I feel like, well, obviously guys have a certain physique versus female, but in today's world, the bodybuilding is very, it's become very popular. Even in the last 3 years since I started doing this, I noticed big change, how much it's growing. Industry's grown so much, that's amazing. And there's a lot of women, and we're talking stay-home moms, we're talking nurses, just regular women like myself. I own my own business, I work full-time, and I just do this as a passion and hobby, and then just to self-improve. So to me, it's women can be as successful as men, and they have been, and it's pretty amazing. Some of the women to look up to and what they done, and I feel like, why can I do that? I don't feel like I'm any less than that, and I feel anybody can if they put the work into it.
So you were talking about, we're actually in your place of work right now, in your salon, but on top of that, this is kind of like a part-time job, almost additionally. You said you put, almost 20 hours a week roughly into bodybuilding?
Yeah.
When you're in the gym for that long, how do you avoid, like muscle failure and things like that, and like the fatigue that would, get people out of the gym in 40 minutes or however long? Like
I say, I love it, and for me, it's passion. Yes, my days are long, but I start my day with working out, and to me, it's like I compare it as a fuel injectors. Like if you have full tank of the gas, but your injectors are not working, you're running on empty, or you can't even run. So to me, it jumpstarts my system, and if I don't work out, it's like something is missing. So for me, that's just the way I made, I guess. But I do use right supplements to support my training and stuff, so I don't fail, and for my muscle too. But it takes the right kind of training to support your muscle and to grow muscle. So I just kind of learn, and obviously I have a coach that helps me through this process and stuff.
So what would your advice be for someone who maybe they don't want to go as far as bodybuilding, but they at least want to make some, healthy lifestyle changes? Like, what's a good starting place?
I tell people to make small changes. So you can overnight put 2 hours at the gym, but if you make changes that you can handle, and you keep adding as you go. So make realistic goals for yourself. And even if your goals are high, you start down here and then you work up to that. And anytime if you start if you put too much on your plate, then you're gonna give up and fail. So you just have to put in work, believe in yourself, and stick to it. And I still say, I'm planning to continue my professional career in bodybuilding, that there's always room for improvement. And if with time, no matter what, doesn't matter your age, if you keep staying with it and keep working, you have to get better. There's just no other way. You don't have to use, for say, steroids or stuff like that to get better. There's no shortcuts. You gotta, like I said earlier, 70% is diet. You have to stick to the diet plan, eat clean, and then rest is put the work in. And there's no way you can fail. You have to get better.
So talking about kind of the diet stuff, what do you eat in like a normal day?
Well, I actually eat a lot. I said earlier, I have 2 boys, and I eat more than them. I eat 6 meals a day, and my meals consist. Each meal consists of protein and vegetables for sure, and I cycle my carbs. Some days I have more carbs than others, depending where I'm in my training, if I'm off season or if I'm prep. But about 6 meals a day plus my protein shake after my recovery, after my workout. So which makes almost like 7 meals a day, which is a lot. For somebody who works full time, sometimes I find it challenging to find time to eat.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, as I'm mixing color for my clients, I eat my meal. But it's very important for me. It works best to keep consistent, eat every 3 to 4 hours, and keeps my metabolism running very smooth.
So what's like your average calorie count per day?
I'm off season. I'm around. I don't count my vegetables in the calories because those I don't measure those. They're unlimited, but about 2,000.
Okay, so it's not like some massive amount. It's just a lot of meals spread out throughout the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's higher in the protein to support my muscle growth and stuff.
Okay. What are some things about bodybuilding that would surprise people? Like something that you'd almost have to be a bodybuilder to know.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe like a stereotype that isn't necessarily true or is a little different than...
Well, I think it definitely, to be bodybuilder, it separates you from other people. I truly believe that, because you do have to eat certain way. So people think, sometimes they think I sacrifice, I don't have normal life because of my eating style and stuff, and I to me it's like I can still go out and have fun with the friends without eating certain food. It's not all about food, but definitely separates you from other people because we eat you have to eat your so many hours a day, certain foods, you're limited to certain foods. I don't consume alcohol. Occasionally I'll have a drink. I do have cheat meals where I can go out with friends or at the party and have, whatever I want. So, that helps you to sustain and stuff, kind of. But to me, I don't feel like sacrifice. But it definitely kind of separates you. And I spend countless hours in the kitchen. That's to me, that's the hardest part of bodybuilding. The hours and hours of food prepping, and you eat a lot, so I'm constantly at the store and buying my protein and cooking it.
You probably become a pretty good cook through all this.
Absolutely. It helps if you're a good cook.
Right, yeah.
And you can get more creative and your food is not boring. And there's times like, okay, I don't even care how it tastes, I just need to consume it.
Do you have a favorite dish to prepare?
Not really. Right now it's kind of like, I don't mind what I eat. I look forward to my morning meal. It's before I go to gym, which is before 6 a.m. I usually have before I lift. It's oatmeal and egg whites and a whole egg. So it's about 5 egg whites, 1 whole egg, 3/4 cup of oatmeal, and I'll mix it all together and put a little baking powder, a little stevia to sweeten it a little bit. And I'll make it like a big pancake. And to me, I look forward to that every morning because that's kind of satisfying my sweet tooth, which I have.
And is that every single morning?
Pretty much, yeah. And
wow.
I can eat that separate. I can make my oatmeal separate, my eggs separate. But I really look forward to that mixture and the kind of texture, and I have it with my coffee. And to me, it's like a treat.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's not boring. Like I said, it's like clockwork. I make every morning and enjoy every morning.
So I want to transition a little bit because there's more to the Spomenka story. You're not from the U.S. originally. Can you kind of talk about how you ended up here and what that transition was like?
Yeah, wow, that was so I came here in '89 from Bosnia. I'm Croatian from Bosnia. It seems like a long time ago today, so it's been a while. So I came here. I have an aunt and uncle that live in the United States, and they're the one that brought me here to visit them. And within that first year that I was visiting, civil war started in Bosnia. So I really didn't have a choice. I couldn't go back, so I pursued getting political asylum to stay here. In the meantime, I met my husband, Craig Miller, and we, so the wars, I did not have any contact with my family for 3 years. In the meantime, I met Craig, we married, and by time war ended and I got in contact with my family, I already kind of started life here. But I ended up getting political asylum, and that's how I ended up staying here. And actually, I really had no place to go back because even my family at that time, they had to leave home where I grew up, and they're still live in Bosnia, but they're refugees in their own country.
And you must have been pretty worried during that time that you didn't have contact with them.
Yeah,
right?
it was. I just felt like so my sisters were sent away from home because it wasn't safe for them to stay there, and I felt like, okay, well, God sent me this way to survive, and escape that disaster over there, and also to help them out. So first few years I was helping much as I can financially my family back there because they had no roof over their head. My sister was just different places and stuff. So I just see that as I took that my advantage that, it was meant for me to be here to help them out. But I'm thankful that they all survived the war.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people my age at least, and at least in this country, don't necessarily know about, all the war that was happening in the Balkans and that area. Can you kind of talk about like what that was like and what exactly was going on over there?
So when I left it was communist country. So I left Yugoslavia at that time. It was communist country, but after when war broke out, so under Yugoslavia there was 6 republics. So they all wanted to start getting independent, get out from under communism. So one by one they became independent. The Bosnia is the one that had the worst war, or because there's too many mixed, like Croatians, Serbians, and Bosnians, Muslims at that time. So they couldn't separate as easy. So that's where my family lived, and that was the hardest part. But basically they all wanted independency and democracy and get on their own. So that would be like taking California and dividing it in 6 pieces. So they're tiny little countries, but they're all got independent, and they're not under communism anymore.
So what year did you say you left again?
I came here in 89.
89. Okay, and then there's also like the Yugoslav wars as a whole broke out in 91, I believe. So
yeah.
Did you kind of see like that trend, like the tension building? Could you feel it?
No, well, at that time I was just under 21. Oh, I was 21 when I came here.
Right.
So at that time, living that life, young, and I wasn't in politics, but honestly, people would think like, oh my gosh, aren't you happy you escaped communism? I didn't feel it was that way, but it was definitely, I like growing up, going to church, because I'm Roman Catholic. I would be scared, like I didn't want my teachers to see me going to church, or some of my friends that were Muslims, I didn't want to see them. You just kind of felt like, I don't know, there was a little of that, but other than that, I had a pretty normal life. It wasn't that bad, and I didn't see it coming. So I came here to visit. I had no idea that I would not be able to go back. I wanted to just come here, experience going to, different country, maybe learn a little bit language, come back and show off.
Yeah, right.
That never happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was there like a phone call you got that was, it's not safe to come back?
Yes. Or? Yeah, absolutely. My dad actually, you got that right on the point. My dad called me and said, like, honey, if you have any opportunity, don't come back. There's no place to come back. I'm sending your sisters away. It's not safe here. If you have any opportunity to stay there, it's not time to come back.
Wow.
Stay there. So that's when I started pursuing the political asylum. And I remember when I was applying for my political asylum, I was waiting in the hallway, and this gentleman that was interviewing me walking down the hallway, and he was saying to another person, it's like, oh my gosh, you won't believe I just had this lady from Bosnia apply for political asylum. It was that uncommon at that time.
So did you think you were gonna like be awarded the asylum, or?
It was questionable. I didn't know for sure, because it was just beginning of that war, and at that time it wasn't, it just wasn't common. Mm-hmm. But I did hire a lawyer to help me out, and they granted it to me.
What went through your mind when you got that call that you can't go back to your own country?
It was shocking, and it's like, wow, what I'm gonna do now? I guess, just extend my visa for another 6 months, and then, well, actually, that was I already extended the visa for 6 months because I wanted to learn a little language before I go back. So that was towards the end of me needing to leave, because I've been a year here already, and then I was like, what am I gonna do now? So I just didn't really have a choice, and yeah, I was very devastated and worried about my family, and didn't know what life was gonna. That's when I learned that in life, you can plan things, but you just don't know which way is gonna go. Mm-hmm. Things you can't control. But I feel like this is definitely a country of opportunity. I'm a citizen now, and I'm very happy to be here, and I accomplished a lot since I've been here.
Yeah, it seems like you've really capitalized on your opportunities. So like I mentioned earlier, we're in your salon. Can we kind of talk about how that came to be, how you went from, getting political asylum to owning your own business? And
yeah, so once I realized that I can't go home, I decided, I need to start my life here. So like I said, I did get married, and I finished I went to get my license to do hair. I was always interested in doing hair. Even back home, I was doing like whole neighborhood hair just because that's another thing that I have passion for. It's kind of natural gift. It's like what's so bad making people look good. It's a good feeling. So I love what I do. But I decided I had some friends that were in my aunt's friends that they were in the hair business. So I decided to go get my license and see if I pursue this. And then I worked for a couple years in the Bay Area for somebody else. Came up here, worked for local Brockway in Rockland. I managed salon for 3 years, and then I decided I wanted to have my own business. So I have a good partner, and we decided to open up business together, and it's been 20 years. It's been wonderful. And here I am, still here.
That's great. Well, this has been a fascinating conversation for me. I really appreciate it, and thank you for sharing your story. And then, maybe after we're done, I'll have to come in and get a haircut, and you can fix up my hair. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.